Good evening to all of you that come into my live tonight. I'm not going to stay very long. I usually don't. Just wanted to come and just share my condolences for another icon who has been called home by the Lord, D'Angelo. And it's really heartbreaking. 51 years old. We just lost Angie in March of this year. And now we lost the love of her life, D'Angelo. Just want to take a moment of prayer for the family that God will restore them, strengthen them, and give them more understanding and wisdom as they go through this time of grievance. Give them comfort because this is a difficult moment for them because they just lost their mother, which was Angela. And I can imagine what their son is feeling right now. So I just wanted to just send my heartfelt condolences and just read a little bit more about his life from what I got here from some of the things that was posted. And I didn't know he worked with R. Kelly. And R. Kelly was an inspiration to him. So, because he's much younger than R. Kelly. So we're going to read this together. And I know Robert is feeling this right now because he knew this young man as one of his family members from the industry. And this is a really deep and touchy moment right now. And I'm just going to take a time to just read about some of these things with some of those of you who are subscribed to my channel who are R. Kelly supporters and those who are in the R&B world. D'Angelo, the visionary R&B singer who helped pioneer the neo-soul subgenre, has died following a battle with cancer, according to a statement from his family published by multiple outlets. He was 51. The songwriter and producer, born Michael Eugene Archer on February the 11th of 1974 in Richmond, Virginia, spent much of his career wrestling with the scrutiny of his outsized genius. The son of a Pentecostal preacher and a devotee of Prince, a young D'Angelo started a group with two of his cousins called Three of a Kind. At 16, he scored mic time on the coveted Rising Star Showcase, Amateur Night at the Apollo. I could remember that. On his second attempt, he won. He took the 500 prize money and brought a four-track and record. The majority of the songs that would make up his debut. 2 years later, he signed a record deal. D'Angelo first broke through as the co-writer and producer of the single "You Will Know" by Black Men United, an R&B supergroup that included 1990 stars like Brian McKnight, Usher, R. Kelly, Boyz II Men, and Gerald Levert. The song's popularity built the foundation for a solo breakout. And in 1995, D'Angelo released his debut album, Brown Sugar. Brown Sugar, baby. I remember that song, which blended traditional soul with contemporary R&B and went platinum the following year. Despite major success, D'Angelo constantly found himself at odds with his increasing profile. He slowed his activity in a moment when most would be ramping up and struggle with the post Brown Sugar direction of his music, which was delayed by spells of writer's block. The landmark album that finally landed in 2000, Voodoo, is among the finest ever made, solidifying D'Angelo as a defining voice of R&B's transitional turn of the millennium sound. One of a handful of records recorded by the Soul Quarians collect at Electric Lady Studios. Voodoo meted old school funk ideas with a more free-form, groove-oriented songcraft. The album had its own psychedelic ethos, one carried by the players on tour who congealed into the backing band, the Soul Tronics. One of the group's members, bassist, piano, Palladino, divine as musical philosophy is playing behind the beat. A, a rhythmic a rhythmic concept pulling from the rap beat, making Savant Day Dilla for a particular kind of back phrasing, using the guitar, bass, and even bass drum to defy the song's sense of time. The keyboards will be what some people consider out of time, he said, before shifting away from the theory of it toward something more intuitive, but it feels great. The music D'Angelo made came to be known as neo soul, a term coined by music executive Kadar Mazenberg to market a new strain of R&B deemed less con- conventional and pulling broadly from all styles beyond the genre's soundscape. Eventually, the artist started to view the tag as a box. I think the main thing about the whole neo soul thing, not to put it down or it was a bad thing or anything, but you don't. You want to be in a position where you can grow as an artist. You never want to be told, hey, well, you're not doing what you did on Brown Sugar, because like right now we're going someplace else, he said in a Red Bull Music Academy lectures in 2014. I never claim I do neo soul, I make black music. Voodoo won Best R&B Album at the Grammys, and the video for its hit, Untitled How Does It Feel, helped that song become his signature and establish D'Angelo as a sex symbol to his dismay. After touring to support the album, ever conscious of and frustrated with his public image, he retreated from the spotlight through though he would occasionally emerge to appear on songs for collaborators like Dilla, Common, and Q-Tip. The dynamic artist would not release another album until 2014. He recorded his third and final LP, Black Messiah, with a group called The Vanguard, which included Palladino, the drummer, Kesslov, the guitarist, Isaiah Sharkley, and the horn player Roy Hargrove. It marked a critically acclaimed return and a shift to an analog, progressive soul sound that invoked There's a Riot Going On, the 1971 folk opus by Sly and Family Stone. I remember Sly and the Family Stone. I kind of like some of their music. The 2019 documentary Devil's Pie, D'Angelo Behind the Screen, took at the singer's The Second Coming tour, provided insight into his meticulous nature. He can be seen piecing together arrangements with players in his hand audibly and percussive, percussively, dictating what to play and how to play it with his mouth, so the jams are rendered as he heard them in his mind. That unparalleled brilliance was sharply in conflict with the musician's disposition, which found him not simply angling away from attention, but longing for the discretion of private life. It's a struggle for him to do simple stuff like leave his apartment. I think he just has a fear of going out there, fears and worries of being the chosen one, Questlove says in the doc. He knows that it's entertainment business, but to thine own self be true is his mantra. Black Messiah felt like evidence that D'Angelo, for all his reclusive tendencies, was always in tune with the cultural pulse. Those songs surging forth out of a 14-year hibernation to meet a fraught moment of police violence. There seemed to be a clear disconnect between his compulsion to be heard and his reluctance to be seen that led to a career plagued by am- uh, am- ambivalence. Collaborators often noted that he was working on music, yet so little of it materialized and only ever after great deferrals. The tug of war between his two primary impulses inspired instinctive maestros and hesitant sheer is referenced on the Black Messiah opener. Ain't that easy? Where the musician clues the listener in on his creative doctrine. Oh, these words. Ever hit with, okay? The sense that silence leads you to truly listen to your inner voice and the peace of mind comes at course. Felt instructive to his process that music was something done in difference to self actualization and thus was not a performance, and that the celebrity that comes with groundbreaking art could be a disruption to any truly expressive undertaking. Even still, in flashes across his last album, you can sense the desire to lower the guarded walls of his perfectionist mindset and let others be privy to interior world he kept concealed when he sings. I just want to take you with me to secret rooms in the mansion of my mind. On another life, you can hear the yearning in his tone. In the years after Black Messiah, D'Angelo's appearance became fleeting. Once more, in 2016, after Prince's death, he covered sometimes it's snow in April on the Tonight Show, but then stepped away from a tribute for the singer at the BET Awards. In 2018, he had to cancel a run of European shows when a pre-tour checkup revealed an unspecific medical condition that required further evaluation in 2021. He held the Versus show at the Apollo Theater, the place that kicked off his journey nearly 3 decades prior, breaking from the conventional format to do a solo show filled with guest stars. Last year, he released a 9-minute song with Jay Z and Jameis Samuel for the latter's film, The Book of Clarence, and songwriter, producer, and longtime collaborator Raphael Sadiq later told Billboard that D'Angelo was in a good place, in control of his own destiny, and working on a new album. He seemed to be preparing a comeback again, announcing a headlining performance at the 2025 Roots Picnic, but in May he was forced to cancel the planned appearance, citing unforeseen medical delays from surgery. When asked by model Veronica Webb in a conversation, the Interview magazine in 2013, whether he saw himself as a lifelong performer, D'Angelo explained that for him, the creative process went beyond the artifice that came with being an entertainer. I plan to be involved in music, doing music, writing music for the rest of my life, he said. But I can't see the future. I don't know what tomorrow gonna bring. To me, music is far more deep and making videos and doing blank like that. Music some deep blank. You know what I mean? So if I ever come to a point where I decide to stop doing videos and performing or whatever, it ever comes to that point, that don't mean I've stopped doing music. Music is me. That's what I am, really. So that's a part of me to the day I die. And he died. And that's the end. But it's so funny how this whole article was written and nothing was mentioned about his life with Angie Stone. And but still in all, we still gonna say she did play a significant role in his life. And now they both going on home. But only time will tell. And you know, some people gonna start talking now. And they gonna start telling parts about Angelo. They gonna start talking parts about Angie Stone. So get ready for it. But I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna remember what I could remember of him, and I loved his song, and I love some of his music when he was out. He wasn't as hot as R. Kelly, but I did listen to some D'Angelo, and I remember the song "Devil's Pie" because that song was played in the movie we saw with, of course, that movie we saw. What's the name of it? It can't come to the top of my head, but you know what I'm talking about. The Devil's Pie. I know the Devil's Pie, and oh my God, what is the name of that movie again? It ain't coming to my head right now, but it'll come back to me. Y'all know, if you are familiar with the movie, you will know what I'm talking about. Okay. What's his name played in it, and he passed on. He was the main character. Nas was in it, and so was where my dog's at. Whatever his name is, his name can't come to the top of my head right now. And we just lost him as well. He was one of my R&B, I mean not R&B, but rap artists that I used to listen to at the time, and he passed on. And his ass, he had some drug addictions, and then he went through a whole battle with his life. It will come to me, but maybe God right now is just not putting it on my mind of who he is, but he's right there. I see his face, the bald, the chains on his neck, the dogs. Where my dogs at? Okay, he was loved by many. He played in movies with Aaliyah as well. And I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. You know what? Instead of doing all of that, let's go to the movie. They not even showing the movie. I said the name of the movie. Okay, I can't even remember the movie. Oh man, could somebody put it in the chat for me, please? DMX. Okay, DMX was in the movie. Belly. Belly was the name of the movie. I knew anything that deals with the devil, I don't remember. God don't want me to remember. I'm sorry. But that was where the song Slice of the Devil's Pie played in. Belly, Slice of the Devil Pie. You can't play with that devil. That devil is wicked. It's on the Belly soundtrack. Okay, so if you want to find out that song, I don't play with the devil. Okay, I just don't play with the devil. And I think because I wasn't able to remember is because God didn't want me to remember. Those demonic movies about drugs and crime and the belly and all that other stuff with DMX and Nas and also the soundtrack with D'Angelo made Slice of the Devil's Plot. But it's funny how he passed away, but they not mentioning anything about his life with Angie Stone. That right there is just like a sign for me. That is a sign for me. They didn't say anything about Angie Stone, and she played a very significant part and role in his life. And I did a contribute. I said my deepest condolences to the loved ones of Angie Stone and D'Angelo. They had a son together. God called D'Angelo home to be with Angie Stone, the woman who truly loved him. No disrespect to anyone, but this is how I remember the both of them. Two souls whose music spoke to the heart, whose connection went beyond time. Their voices will forever live on, reminding us that love never dies. It just transforms and finds its way back home. Absent from the body, present with the Lord. 2 Corinthians 5 and 8. And I did a contribute to the both of them. Because I know she played the part of his life. And whoever wrote that article wasn't thinking about her. And it was just too many fancy words and the whole try to be as smart and as sophisticated as they can be. But something just was, I couldn't even really understand half of the stuff they were writing. But anyway, I just wanted to just share that with you tonight. My deepest condolences to the children of Angie Stone and to D'Angelo. May God be with you. May God comfort you, strengthen you through this time of your bereavement. And that's all I wanted to share. So you all have a wonderful and blessed night. And if God's willing, I may or may not be back with you again tomorrow. Peace.